Into our newsroom here, a large tree falling onto an apartment complex. This is a building in the Bay Park area. Happened just after 5 o'clock this morning, so just under an hour ago in the 4100 block of Littlefield Street. Look at the size of this tree. This tree went into a second floor apartment.
And you see how the roots are right there, causing that fence to be obviously lifted up as well. The branches going into that wall, and also look at this, landing on some parked cars. So you'll notice the damage right there to those vehicles. That is a huge tree. And this, again, about an hour ago is when it happened, as these strong gusts have been coming through. Really, there is that concern, so many large trees like this. This, for reference, is in Bay Park, as we mentioned, right on Littlefield Street, near Morena Boulevard. Thankfully, no injuries reported, but police are closing off Littlefield Street, that section, the 4100 block. So please avoid the area if you can. You can see why. They'll need space to try to figure out how to move that tree and obviously look at what's left, the damage left there.
Trees uprooted, things blowing all over the interstate as well. So be careful. You're going to be heading out on the roads here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Glad to have you with us, and we want to make sure you are safe. The wind has been knocking down trees all around San Diego. You'll see right here on your screen in Del Mar, a tree fell onto a home. And then in Mission Valley, a tree fell onto a car there. Trees also fell in La Jolla and University City, blocking many of these busy roads.
And here's a live look at the conditions right now in Alpine. Our photographer is at Alpine Boulevard and Victoria Drive. We've been seeing that windmill get quite a workout in. Those trees also bending, twisting, and blowing around out there as well. We do have team coverage for you this morning on this storm. CBS 8's Chris Groh live with a look at some other damage we've been seeing around the county. But we begin with Evan Narani tracking the latest storm here, and that rain is going to be on the way here, right?
Yeah, it looks like we are getting wind first and then rain. Rain is expected to really pick up Thursday night, so tomorrow night through Friday and Saturday. Those are going to be days of widespread rain. Today is a day of light scattered showers, mostly around 1/10 of an inch and lighter. What we're more concerned about today is going to be those cooler temperatures and wind. So notice we take a 10 to 15, in some cases 20-degree drop in temperatures. Here's your current wind gust map. Strong westerly winds building. We've got 26-mile-per-hour gusts in just the last about half hour or so in Oceanside, 32 down south in Chula Vista, 40-mile-per-hour gusts in Borrego Springs. So it is windy across the county. As you head outside, make sure to take it safe on the roads. And we're already starting to see some damage from these winds this morning. We've seen several downed trees around town. One of them fell onto a home in Del Mar. CBS 8's Chris Groh is live at the scene. He's got a look at the damage and what conditions are like outside right now. Chris?
Yeah, good morning, Evan, and the wind is blowing really strong right now. In fact, just below us again, you can see now with the sun coming up here, the amount of damage that this one tree caused to this home. Again, going through the roof, you can see that Torrey pine snapping in half. Now, inside was an elderly couple. They were sleeping at the time in which this tree snapped. They thought it was someone trying to break into the home. Thankfully, they were not hurt, but when they got outside after they had called first responders, they saw it indeed. It was a tree that was above just behind their home. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with this area, we're pretty much close to the top of this hill here on Grimaldi. You can take the winding road all the way up here. This home just below in the canyon. So again, they may not have been feeling the wind, so to speak, but the tree that was above their home obviously felt that, snapped in half and fell right on top of their home. In fact, we're being told it could snap even more, so we're going to be paying attention to that moving forward. But in La Jolla, just south of us here, we know that there were some downed trees as well too. That caused a bit of damage. We hear that there are multiple trees down in that area. Then in Oceanside, there was actually a power pole that was knocked down by the wind that caused a brief brush fire close to the 78 there, Oceanside Carlsbad area. Thankfully, firefighters were able to respond to that. But with this wind, when you hear that word brush fire, again, a lot of fear for what could potentially spark into something even greater. But back here in Del Mar, there was an opportunity where we heard from that elderly couple that lives inside this home. Take a listen to what they had to say. Again, hard to hear them because of the wind that was blowing at the time, but take a listen.
We heard bang, and we thought somebody threw a rock through the window. So I was worried about prowlers, and so I called the police. And I called 911, which is police, and told them to come out. They came out, and the next thing we know, it was not only the police, but fire engines and everything else.
And just to give you an idea of what they were saying there, is they heard that loud bang. They called 911. They thought it was someone breaking into their home, but instead it was a tree literally breaking in on top of their home. Now, normally these trees look pretty stoic in this neighborhood day to day, but today they are blowing, they are moving, they are shaking. So a lot of watchful eyes on trees, not only here, but across the county, as well as some of those power lines that are still up, those power poles as well, too. So just another important reminder, if you're going to be out and about today, try to stay safe. Eric and Netta.